Hey everyone, welcome back to Hook and Sword. So today I'm going to show you how to make a corner to corner stitch. So I went ahead and made a swatch for you. And this is Blinky from Pac-Man. As you can see, he is pretty pixelated. And that kind of goes well with the video game, the arcade game. They're pretty pixelated. But if you want to make something more detailed, you're going to need to make your project bigger. So the bigger you go with your project, the more detail you can add into your project. I've made something as big as a king-size blanket, and I was able to get a lot of detail in there because I had more squares to work with. So this is 10 squares high by 10 squares across. So this is actually a pretty small swatch. So let's go ahead and talk about materials. So for my swatch, I just use scrap yarn that I have around my house. And this is Red Heart with Love. This is, shoot, I've already forgot the name. Hold on. Berry Red. So this is Berry Red. And I use Red Heart with Love black and white yarn. I always have something like this lying around. And then I also used Big Twist Value. This is the color Cornflower Blue. And my recommendation for yarn is to, if you choose anything, make sure you choose something with no dye lot if you're making a really big project. Because if you ever run out of a color, you can always go back to the store and buy the same color and not have to worry about the color gradients with the dye lot. So what that means is if you, sorry, I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. So a dye lot is they take a big batch of yarn and they dye it all at the same time. And so that dye lot is a barcode. And everything in that dye is going to be the same color until they get the next batch. So if you mix those dye lots, you kind of run into a risk of having different colors. It's hard. Some show up more than others, but I never really had an issue with the colors being a little different. So for the hook size, if you're using the same brand, just different colors, just use whatever hook size that it requires for you to make. But if you are using one with two different types of brands, just make sure that it is the same weight. And here's the weight chart right here. So you'll find that on the skein. So this is Big Twist Value, and then this is Red Heart with Love. These are both a medium weight. So that means they will work together and they would be seamless. You are going to need some scissors, some stitch markers, and some yarn needles. So actually what is crucial for me is getting clothes hangers from the laundry section at like Walmart or at any grocery store. And these are just plastic. They were pretty cheap. I'm using it for another project right now, but there's just a bunch of them for a couple of dollars. I'll put a link down below. But this will be very crucial for to making bobbins for. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. So let's talk about planning. If you are making an image inside your corner to corner project, I typically use a Excel sheet or Google Sheets or this website called Stitch Fiddle, which I just found out about. It saves you time. So to start your project, if you're using yarn you're unfamiliar with, I would actually take the yarn that you're going to plan on using and make yourself a little tester where you figure out how many squares, height and width is 12 inches by 12 inches. So when you know that, you know how big how many squares you can do by 1 foot. And if you're trying to make a 5 by 5 feet, 5 foot by 5 foot blanket, you know how many squares you're going to need to make it. So when you figure that out, you transfer those squares into Excel, use the filter, and then you can use the colors to make your image, or you can use this website. It's called Stitch Fiddle, and it is where you can upload an image that you find online. And Stitch Fiddle, you kind of tell it how many squares your project is going to be. You upload your image, You also tell it what stitch you want, so it's going to be corner to corner, and then you also tell how many colors you're willing to put into this project, and it will spit out the map of what you give it, and if you want more colors, you can reset it. It is so convenient. I wish I knew about this years ago. So this is a free website that you can use, or there is a paid version where you can export it as an Excel sheet. I use the free version where it just spits out a PDF, and then I would actually transfer that and make it in my Excel sheet. So those are some tools that you can use to make an image. I'm going to turn the camera down and I'm going to show you how to do a corner to corner stitch. Okay, so I have my I-9 hook and my yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with that slip knot. I do have a video, I will link that below, of the details of how to make a slip knot. So I'm going to be making my X, turning it over, and getting my hook under and over. You're going to pull all the way through, pull on the working yarn, and bring it to the hook. So next we're going to go ahead and chain 6. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, 5 and 6. So that's what it should look like right now. Now we're going to be doing 3 double crochets all the way down, but we're going to start from the 4th chain from the hook. The 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to put our hook right in there. Yarn over, insert, okay, right there. Yarn over, number 4, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Now you have 2 more stitches to the slip knot, so we're going to do 2 more times on both of those. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So I also have a video of how to do a double crochet, and I will also link that in the description below. And we're going to do it one more time on that last chain. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there you go. That is your first square for corner to corner. Okay, so I have a stitch marker right here, and I'd like to insert it right in the front of that square. That way you know which side is the front. As you can see, you can't really see it in the back, but you can see it in the front. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and chain 6, just like what we did when we first did our slip stitch. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And just like what we did earlier, we're going to be doing 3 double crochets starting at the 4th chain from the hook. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Both of those. Okay, so when you've done that, we are going to insert a slip stitch between the end and the middle post. So it's going to be the big hole in between, just like that. I'm just trying to widen it up a little bit for you. You see that big old hole of the 2 stitches? You're going to go right in there. And then next we're going to be chaining 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do 3 double crochets in that big hole as well. So it's between the post, the end, and the middle. You see that? Yarn over, insert your hook, pull through. We're not going into any stitches, we're just going to be going over that post. And that is what your project should look like. So for corner to corner, when you are on the edge of your project, you are chaining 6 and you are doing 3 double crochets in the stitches. When you're in the middle of your project, you are doing double crochets in the post. So as you can see, I'm doing the 6 and I've just finished it, and now I'm going to be doing that slip stitch right in that post, you see? So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. That is a slip stitch. So now I'm going to be crocheting in that little hole you see where my hook is. So now I'm going to be changing colors. This is for my project, whatever graphghan you are working on, whenever you change your colors, this is how you do it. So you're going to grab the different color and pull through in that loop. You're going to tighten your loop a little bit, and then just like normal, you're going to chain 3. Since you're in the center of your project, you're chaining 3, and that counts as a double crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets, yarn over, insert into the loop, yarn over. Oh, I am keeping the ends with that post so I can hide the edges a little bit more. That is optional. You can do that if you want to. So now I'm going to be showing you how to do clothespins. Here are a few of them, and I'm just going to grab a bunch of this blue yarn here. Okay, so I cut some off at the end, and I'm going to clip it onto my bobbin. The end is just going to go right there just to keep it in place, and I'm going to roll it up. Okay, as you can see, the bobbin is wound, and when your project gets bigger, you can clip it onto the project itself. It's easier to travel with that when you have bobbins, and you also save yarn that way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change colors like I did last time, because that's what my pattern calls for. I'm going to grab it and pull through. And there you go. I went ahead and did it off camera. And you're just going to continue to go back and forth with whatever graphghan you're working on. So I'm going to be inserting my hook in that little hole, pulling through to change colors, tighten that up, chain 3, and then 3 double crochets on that post. 2, 3. And just like what I did before, I'm switching colors again to finish out with the blue. On the upper left hand corner, you'll see where I'm at for each row as I'm showing you. So right now I'm on the 4th row. Okay, so now we are turning the work, and since we are starting a new row, we're going to be chaining 6. And you're just going to keep going. Okay, so as you can see, I have my next one is going to be red. Since the red is way over here, I'm just going to be moving this bobbin over to where I need it to be. You don't want to stretch this bobbin too far. I would rather weave in the yarn to save as much yarn as I can when making a graphghan project. So when I'm tightening it, I kind of make a knot in between the colors, just like so. And this is for safety for me, to make sure, for peace of mind, that I am not going to lose this color when the graphghan is completed. So I just make a knot in between go. Now it's secured. Now I have a free bobbin where I can continue with the red. Okay, so just like what we do normally when we change colors, we pull through. Now we're gonna do the chain 3. Okay, so now we are on the white. And there is only really going to be a few of these on the project, so I really didn't do that big of a bobbin for white. Okay, so I'm pulling through, and this will only be for one square. I just wanted to show you real quick. 2 and 3. This is kind of where the bobbins become really helpful, because you don't really want that many skeins of the same color all on one row. So these bobbins really help you keep your yarn organized and save as much as you can. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the red now that I'm done with the white. Okay, so since the black is only 1, I just went ahead and did that square, and I actually ran out of red. So you just kind of tie a new bobbin together with the original skein or the original bobbin. Just tie a little knot to ensure that it's not going anywhere. And you're going to weave those ends into your project. So just kind of crochet with this knot until you're ready to weave in the ends. Okay, so there is another way to add more yarn to your bobbins. Instead of doing it as you go, you can actually just make a bunch of these. So you just grab onto the end of your skein and wrap it around your clothespin. And once when you get enough on there, go ahead and cut off from your skein and tie it in as you go. So I'm tying the bobbin in with my project, and I'm going to be hiding the knot when I get to it in the project. Okay, so this is something very crucial for me to do as I go with my project. Once when I get a lot of ends, I start weaving them in. So I'm taking my yarn needle and I am pushing them throughout the project. To me, this is very tedious. This could be relaxing for you, but I for sure do this as I go just to get through it. Alrighty, so once when you reach a corner, this is a new way to process this. So instead of adding 6 at the end of your row, you are going to slip stitch 3 times in the V's. And pull through. You insert your hook into the V, both loops, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. One more time. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And that is your corner. You're going to go ahead and chain 3 and continue the corner to corner. So now that you've reached the edge, you are going to continue to slip stitch every single time you're at that edge. So slip stitch into the next square to continue, and just keep going like we've been all the way down. Alright, so now I've reached the second corner of the slip stitch, and just like the last one, turning my work, and I am slip stitching into all 3 of those V's. Insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. One more time. Alrighty. So on that side, I'm going to continue to slip stitch 3 times in order to turn my work instead of the chaining 6. This is my favorite part towards the end when you're just slip stitching instead of increasing your squares. This is great. Okay, so now I'm reaching towards the end of this. And this is just me finishing it right now. It's just the same. Double crocheting on the post. Alright, slip stitch. And this is the last corner you have to work on. Alrighty. Now you're just going to slip stitch into each stitch, just like you did with the other corners. And that's it. Now you're going to cut this and then fasten off. So you see the loop from your hook? You are going to make a knot in that little loop there. Okay, so get the end string in that loop and pull. So that's it. That is how you make corner to corner crochet. If you have any questions on the stitch or any kind of project you'd like to see, please leave a comment down below. If you like this kind of content, feel free to give this a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!